Hi, my name is Christopher and I work for the Dearborn Historical Museum. We are so excited to offer this MLK Day virtual program for elementary age kids. Today we're going to read a story, look at some old photos, and do a craft together. Parents, these activities are designed to get kids thinking about the civil rights movement and to ask questions. We hope that they'll spur some great family discussions. Do you know what MLK stands for? Martin Luther King. Today we're going to read Martin Luther King Jr. by Maria Isabel Sanchez Vergara. Let's begin. Little Martin was a spiritual boy from Atlanta who came from a long line of preachers. His dad was a preacher, his uncle was a preacher, his grandfather was a preacher. Maybe he'd become a great preacher too. One day, a friend invited him over to play. Martin was shocked when he was asked to leave because he was black. That day, he realized something terrible was going on. This terrible thing was called segregation. It meant that public spaces, like restaurants and buses, had separate spaces for black and white people. Martin and his friend were sent to different schools. Martin believed that no one should remain silent or accept something if it's wrong. He promised himself that when he grew up, he would fight injustice with the most powerful weapon of all, words. Martin studied at universities in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts, where he read about Mahatma Gandhi, the man who had improved the lives of millions of Indians with peaceful methods of protest. When he finished his studies, Martin moved to Alabama and became the pastor of a church in Montgomery. Every Sunday, from his pulpit, he encouraged his congregation to speak up about the things that mattered. One evening, a woman named Rosa was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white man on a bus. Martin asked the people in his community not to take the bus again until the laws were changed. Many citizens were inspired by Rosa's story and Martin's words. Suddenly, buses were almost empty. They stayed empty for more than a year until the segregation on Montgomery buses finally ended. It was the first major civil rights action in America, but not the last. Martin encouraged people all over the country to stand up for their rights and join in with peaceful protest. They were often attacked, and Martin was arrested 29 times, but he and his followers never fought back with force. He knew that hate can't drive out hate. Only love can. Martin helped organize a protest march on Washington, where he gave a life-changing speech. It began with 4 simple yet powerful words: I have a dream. The next year, Martin became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. His words of hope, peace, and justice called a nation to change its laws and make them equal for everyone. And if you listen to your heart, you can still hear little Martin asking you to keep his dream alive. A dream of a world where we are judged by our character, not by the color of our skin. Wow, that was a great story. Do you remember why Martin wasn't allowed to play with his friend? How do you think Martin felt when he couldn't go to the same school as the other children? And what did Martin do to make his community more friendly and accepting of different types of people? That's right, he used his words. That story talks about segregation. Segregation means keeping different types of people separate from each other. During segregation, people of color did not get equal treatment. They could not go to the same schools, swim in the same public pools, and live in the same neighborhoods as white people. Do you think that's fair? Segregation did not just happen in the South. It also happened here in Dearborn and in other places in the North. Do you think Dearborn was a very friendly community during segregation? Take a look at this image. What do you see? Some of the signs say things like Land of the Free, Home of the White, and Land of the Free, for whom? These young people are making protest signs against segregation in Metro Detroit. How does this picture make you feel? Now look at these images. Have you seen these before? Where? Maybe you've seen them on the lawns of your neighbors in Dearborn. These signs say, Hate has no home here. What pictures do you see on the signs? I see hearts, rainbows, and different languages. What do you think these signs mean? How do they make you feel? Signs like those create a welcoming community. What do you think a welcoming community is? I think it means friendly. Why might it be important to create a friendly, welcoming community? Would you like to make a Welcome to Dearborn sign with me? Come on, I'll show you how. First, ask your parents if you can work with some paper, crayons, and markers. Now, we'll start by writing our message, Welcome to Dearborn. Welcome is kind of a long word. It's spelled W-E-L-C-O-M-E in English, but you can write your sign in any language you want. Then we have the word to. I think you know that one. Finally, we write Dearborn. That's spelled D-E-A-R-B-O-R-N. If you don't live in Dearborn, you can write the name of your town instead. Now comes the fun part. You can decorate the sign any way you like. How can we make our sign feel more welcoming? Think about signs and symbols you see every day. How do you know if a place is safe and friendly for you to go into? Now, what symbols might we use for our sign? What about hearts, peace signs, open hands, or doves? What if we used a skull and crossbones? Would that be very welcoming? No, I don't think so. The signs and symbols we use to communicate with others are important. They can make people feel welcome in a community, and that's what we want here in Dearborn. Here are my finished signs. When you're done with yours, ask your grown-up if you can put it up in the front window of your home to help spread our friendly message. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you and your family soon at the Dearborn Historical Museum.